Welcome to the Long Range Pursuit Podcast, presented by Gunworks, where we learn about and share long-range shooting techniques, science, and gear.
Good to go? Rolling? Thank you. Gave you the tour of all tours and lost my voice.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, you just don't realize, honestly, what you guys are doing, you know, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of Gunworks as a gun manufacturer, but you don't realize it's starting from a piece of steel barrel and some sheets of carbon and some plates of aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just actually was, you know, when I was up here a couple years ago, I kind of came in and we did a quick kind of went through, but you guys have added a lot, I think, since then. But yeah, the breakdown of what you just did today is just mind-blowing. I mean, honestly.
All right. Welcome to Long Range Pursuit, Joseph. This is the podcast that we're running. You and I have known each other since 2012. Was that a January hunt, the Ibex? Was it a December hunt?
I think it was September.
January 4th, I'm pretty sure. Early January.
Yeah,
right.
They've changed that youth hunt up, so I can't remember. That used to be in September. And so I know we were down there dealing with rattlesnakes in September, and it got changed at some point.
Yeah. So hunting 14 years ago, we were hunting with another outfitter down there. Dad and I were hunting Ibex on the Florida mountains, New Mexico. Yeah. I was 13 years old. I drew the only youth tag for out of state.
Yeah.
The odds on that, I don't know. Very low.
Yeah.
So we were hunting with another outfitter, and you and Riker, your son, were out there.
He had a mule deer tag.
Hunting mule deer, yeah.
Yeah. And so at the time, Jerry had been guiding for me and the other outfitter. So obviously Jerry was over there, and we were talking with him and told him we'd come help you guys, you know, try to find some ibex, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it all started, was us down there mule deer hunting and talking with Jerry, and yeah, we'll come help you guys. So
I remember it was cold as shit. Yeah. I remember freezing my balls off, but we made a good stalk and made a couple of good shots. I think I missed 10 times on that Ibex. Missed the first shot, and I've brought this point up a lot about shooting uphill, not preloading your bipod. We're right over the Ibex, and then you got 30 Ibex running on the mountain, and it was a shit show. So made a couple misses after that, couple of hits, and then finally killed it. That was an 840-yard shot, which I feel like was the introduction to Gunworks for you and Riker, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was the first time I'd ever even heard anything about preloading bipods, when your dad was talking to you about it and asking you, did you do this? Did you do that? And I'm just like, never even heard of that.
Yeah. So back then, what did we do? We updated 2 of your 300.
So whenever we got done with that Ibex hunt, we were back at the motel and was talking with your dad, and obviously couldn't afford, you know, to buy a Gunworks gun. Right. And he said, well, what kind of gun do you got? And so I told him I got a 300 Win Mag that I had a guy, you know, build for me.
Remington 700 action.
And he said, send it to us and we'll work it over. So I did that, and that's what started the whole introduction to the Gunworks
landslide.
Line. Yeah.
I remember that was, did you or Riker have the red stock? We took that Remington 700 and we put a Magnus stock on it. It was our Gen 1 Magnus stock. I remember one of you guys was
Riker wound up buying that Sendero, or I don't remember if I had it or he bought it from one of our clients, and that's the red stock's the one that you worked up for him. Yeah. Because I've still got the gun that you guys did for me
14 years ago. Better not sell that thing.
No, I mean, I've killed a lot of stuff with that gun before and after you guys worked it over. But it has changed. I mean, it's changed the way we hunt. It's changed the way our clients hunt. It's changed everything.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we preach it, but, you know, the proof's in the pudding whenever somebody shows up with a gun and we tell them, put it put that away and shoot our gun. And they shoot our gun, and then all of a sudden they're like, what do I need to do to get one of these? And it just starts the whole cycle of getting them in a gun that shoots extremely well and confidence. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there in today's world that talks about MOA, and they're trying to break it down so technical. And, you know, I appreciate the guys that do that, because you're fine tuning your shooting ability to a certain amount. And there's a lot of guys that they don't want to do anything other than dial to 4, 5, 6 and pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. And both of them work, but a lot of guys are looking for simplicity.
Yep.
And
well, MOA is not the language of hunters.
No, correct. But there's a lot of them that are trying to get into that, I guess, or I should say they're using it more. And we even have some guys that, you know, we talked them into buying guns from you guys, and they're getting into all the different things. And there's a lot of people that like to get into that, and there's a lot of them that
I'm not. I hate that.
I'm the same way.
I want it to be as simple as possible.
You know, I used to reload my own bullets. I don't do that anymore.
That's super gay.
I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I mean, I literally take a gun. I mean, we had a couple not last week. It's probably been 3 weeks ago on a bull elk hunt. The ladies never even shot a big game animal. I took that new 7 PRC that I got from you. It wasn't extremely far. Had a slight wind. It was about 460 yards across the canyon. Crawled up to the edge. Bull was laying down. She shoots it, you know, tell her exactly where to hold. You know, I'm still guessing wind, I guess you could say, because I'm not carrying a wind meter and doing all kinds of calculations.
We're always guessing anyways.
And so basically I just said, look, shoot him right in the point of the shoulder. And of course, with the shadow, she's like, I can't see his shoulder. I said, yeah, look right there where that shadow is, and put that gun right on the point of his shoulder. And I tell all my hunters, and this is me trying to work through each and every individual's shooting ability. I personally just tell them, I'm like, look, focus on the crosshairs, squeeze the trigger, and watch the bullet go in. And I think it takes away from the jerking the trigger and the closing the eyes and all that. So she puts it on his front shoulder, shoots, the bull stands up, looks around, falls over. Of course, with suppressor nowadays, I mean, I make everybody shoot suppressed. Mm-hmm. There was 13 bulls in that herd. And that bull stands up, falls over dead. And all the other bulls, some of them are even still laying there. And they kind of look around. Some of them are wondering what the heck that was. Some of them went back to feeding. I turned around and looked at her husband, like, you know, because he had a tag too. I'm like, come on, get up here and we'll pick one out for you. And so we get him up there. We get him on the gun. Same thing. Tell him which one to shoot. He shoots. We drifted a little bit further in that wind. And, you know, it could have been him, could have been us. I don't know. Hits him a little bit back. The bull turns uphill, so we didn't shoot again. He's just standing there facing uphill. There's still elk around him. There's actually some feeding. And those bulls, 2-shot elk, never even moved until we stood up and they saw our human silhouettes on the skyline. They stood there with those 2 elk laying there. And so eventually we didn't even shoot again. That bull just finally laid over and died, because it was not too far back, but it was back. But you're talking about taking 2 people who have never even shot that gun before. It was not our plan whenever we took them out to the range, because they had their own gun, to shoot my gun. But they had some issues with, she missed a bull because of wind drift, jerking the trigger, whatever, with her husband's gun. And I don't know exactly what happened. We were up on the hill. They had got around the corner because they were with Waylon. And JJ and I were keeping track, and we told him exactly where the bullet went to. And they were just around, so we couldn't see, but they shot. And I don't know if they had a bullet get hung in the barrel, but I know they had some issues, because we're looking at them through the BTX, because we could see them.
And they're fiddling with the gun.
And we're like, what is going on? They shot, but they're still doing some stuff. And finally I called Waylon on the cell phone. I'm like, what are you guys doing? he said, there's a bullet stuck in this gun. We can't get it out. I said, well, did the elk run off? He said, no, they're just standing there. I'm like, oh my gosh. So JJ and I bailed off the hill, went and got his 7 some and ran it up there. By that time, the bulls had went down into the canyon, and we went up there and couldn't find them, and we didn't know where they had went. I set them up and said, all right, you guys wait here. I'm going to drop back down where we last saw them. They were literally right in the very bottom of that canyon where we couldn't see them. And they got my wind and left out. But the bull we were trying to get her to shoot never stopped. He just kept going straight away and never turned. All the other bulls stopped and turned sideways and looked at him. But so to get back to what I was going to say is it was not the intention of them to shoot my gun, but I had it with me. And so I basically just said, look, and the husband even carried his gun up there and didn't shoot it.
Yeah.
Because I set her up on mine. She shoots
and
it.
He watched him smack it.
Yeah.
Or her smack it.
Yeah,
and he's
exactly.
Like, well,
and
I think
so
I might just shoot your gun.
Come on up here. So he crawled up there and got him set up, and he shot one. Neither one of them had ever shot that gun before.
That's pretty awesome.
And most of the time, my clients that I personally guide are using my gun. For one, I won't let anybody hunt with me that's not suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to be able to watch that animal and get ranges, and I don't need to be.
Yeah, and you need to be able to tell the guy, like, hey, it's the one on the left. And he needs to be able to hear you say
Correct.
that, so he doesn't shoot the female or
Correct.
the smaller
on
bull.
on oryx hunts, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because you're literally saying, well, he's the one with his head down eating, he's turned left, he's turned right, and because all of them look the same.
You can't tell the difference between a female and a male unless you know what you're doing.
Pick it apart.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know what you're looking for to tell the difference between a male and a female oryx.
And really, like, another big point, as an outfitter, where you're killing 2 elk today, but tomorrow you got to kill 2 more with the suppressor. It's like you're not busting those elk
Correct.
50 miles away. They're going to be there tomorrow.
And when you're hunting on a private ranch, you rely
on the elk being there.
Correct. Your tag is only good for what's inside that ranch.
Yeah.
If those elk get pushed onto another ranch or pushed onto the forest and there's no elk on that ranch, you're done. Yeah. You're just waiting for them to come back. So we're pushing suppressors hard.
Yeah.
For one, you don't got to wear earplugs. For 2, we can talk about things before the shot. I can literally stand right beside you and talk you through everything before you take the shot. I believe it was on that hunt where I was actually sighting in one of my other 7 PRCs with a suppressor. I had already had it sighted in, but I got another suppressor. And I was showing them, I said, it's not unheard of to shoot standing up out to 300-500 yards. My trick to that is clipping the gun into the Revic tripod, and then I take a trigger stick to shove up underneath the butt, and it's almost like shooting off a bench. So I was showing them at that time at our range, I was showing them I shot the 300 gong, and then I turned it to 500 and shot that, and I said, well, I'm fixing to try something I've never done before. I said, I'm going to try 750 standing and actually hit the gong. And I'm like, well, that's a first. I haven't even tried it yet. But, the things that you guys have introduced to us with all the technology and whatnot, it makes our life simpler.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, our success is greatly increased based on the fact of the guns that we're shooting, whether it's a muzzleloader, rifle, either one. It's changed our world, I can tell you, because we don't have to go hunt for 5 days, and we don't have to chase a ton of wounded animals. And I'm not going to lie that we're probably pushing people to their limits.
Right.
Because there's people that, last year we had a lady had never killed anything over 300 yards. And she shot her elk at 776 yards. That's just something.
Twice as far.
Yeah, that's just something that's unheard of in most places, because we get a lot of people that hunt from back east, right? Or live in the east, and they hunt whitetails out of a tree stand, and they don't even have a range they can go shoot at that'll get them to 500 yards. And typically they don't have a gun that'll do that. And we try to talk to people and tell them, look, I need you to be proficient out to 500, because, one of my guides, Daniel, he when people say, well, what's the average shot? We all get out to the gun range and we're shooting. They start asking a few questions. And he said, I don't know. For whatever reason, every canyon around here is 640 yards across.
Yeah. That's a good distance, though.
It is. It is.
It's far enough the elk don't know you're there, but it's close enough that it's an easy shot.
It is. And if you talk them through it and they don't do stupid stuff like closing their eyes and jerking the trigger and things like that, and we don't have some crazy different wind changes, because I know that even at our range that we take them to shoot at, we've got some winds are coming over the hill this way and some are coming this. I mean, it's we shoot at the 750 and hold a foot to the right and you hit a foot to the right. Okay, hold a dead on and you hit a foot to the, there's changing winds up there. And so those are the biggest factors I think that we have to deal with. Try to get them as prone or sitting or on a pack on bipods, tripods, whatever. We try to get them in the best stable position, but especially if you're going to ask somebody to take a shot of that distance, that we just try to do the best we can to equip them with the best
And at
stuff.
that distance, you have all the time to get him in the right position for sure.
More than likely. It's 90% of the time we have time.
Well, it's been a long 14 years, but it also feels like it's gone by pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, time's flying.
If you go back and watch that YouTube video of our ibex hunt, I think I'm about half as tall.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even my son Riker was, he's only a couple years older than you.
Yeah.
But now he's guiding and helping me run the outfitting business.
Yeah.
Same with you and helping your father in the gun industry.
Our relationship has definitely, do we text every other day? At least once a week for sure, between our group chat, you and Riker, and like even as far as I was delivering it's December 23rd, so that's why you're up here. You're up visiting family in Whirling, about 2 hours away. So, and I told you if you came up here and you didn't visit, I'd be pretty sore. But like last night, I was in Jackson, Wyoming, delivering some Christmas presents. A really good customer ordered 5 guns. I got them delivered 2 days before Christmas. I was like a little elf or Santa, one of the two. But like last night, I stayed at your daughter and your son-in-law's house. And then this morning I drove here, met you, and we've been doing a tour and now this podcast. So that's how close we've been. Been fortunate enough to kind of come into the outfitter role and been able to go to New Mexico a few times. I think I've seen you 3 times this year.
Yeah.
Which is a long ways away. It's 20 hours away. So 3 times is quite a bit. And 2 of those times, which is going to tie into the next thing I want to talk about, 2 of the times, one was opening muzzleloader season.
Yeah.
Where there you have 12 people in camp or 13 or however many it was, a lot. And it's opening morning. And I'm like, who do I want to go with, Joseph or Riker or one of the other guides? And I'm like, well, Joseph's going to road hunt, so I'm going to go with Joseph. So in that morning, we had a bowl on the ground and cut up before lunchtime.
Yeah.
Opening morning. And I'm like, well, I think my job's done here. Said my goodbyes to everyone, and I went on and did whatever else I was doing. And then the second time I came by, rifle season, it was an opener. I had some really, really good clients that you introduced me to a long time ago, Matt and John, and what's the boss man's name?
Jim.
Matt, John, and Jim. And figured I'll come see you and them at the same time. And same thing. We had a bowl on the ground. Actually, this time we had cut it up because we backed a truck down the mountain, broke it. We probably won't go over that story, but same thing. Bowl on the ground in the truck by lunchtime.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into what I want to talk about next is some hunting stories. You're what Dad and I like to call a certified killer. Like, you know how to kill stuff. You, Kaylin Lemon, my dad, myself, we're in the business of killing stuff. We're not really hunting. we're killing shit.
That's funny that you say that, because I tell people, I says, look, I don't like to hunt.
I hate hunting.
I like to kill stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, really? I enjoy the aspect and the views and the sunset. I said, I'm not saying I don't like that stuff.
I'm going to quote my dad right now. He says, save that tag for someone that likes killing shit and go buy a freaking hiking tag and go hike around and do the same shit. Yeah. Save the killing and stuff for the rest of us.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to go over, in the last 14 years, give me like 3 or 4 of your best Gunworks hunting stories. You guide a lot. You're killing over 300 animals a year in your camp as a business, correct?
I'm going to say,
or high 200s.
Yeah.
High 200s. So yeah. You're hunting a lot for work, which is, it's kind of sucks, honestly. Like me, I hunt all the time for work, and I don't get to really enjoy it. But you also sneak away on these pretty cool hunts to like Tajikistan or Kyrgyzstan, you said, or
I try to book myself a big trip every 2 years.
A big bear hunt last year.
Yeah, I mean, I literally
every 2 years. Is
every
your number?
2 years. Sometimes it happens every year, but like this year I don't have anything. Last year we went to Africa.
That was this year.
Yeah, well, it's fixing to be. It's fixing to be last year. But I don't have anything planned for this next year. We'll see. I'm not saying that it isn't going to happen. But I do, now that Riker is helping me and able to do, like I'm here in Wyoming and they just finished up with an elk hunt. I was down there with them, helped them guide one guy, and then...
he's guiding the rest of the guys today. He's going to take Christmas off.
He finished up yesterday. Then he's taking Christmas off, and then he starts back with another guy on the 27th.
Yep.
And so we've still got 10 or 12 elk hunts to finish out through January. But I do, now that he's working for me, I do have the ability
a little more chillaxed.
I can. I went on a personal deer hunt.
Okay.
This year that was during a time that we had clients. And, I just kind of left it with him to take care of. And so, yeah, I'm slowly but surely, I'm not going to say I'm going to work my way completely out, but yeah. I'm pushing more and more that direction so I can have a little bit more leeway to go do stuff like this or go hunt.
Right. That's awesome.
But, I mean,
that's
my goal.
Give us one, how did you become a killer? Like, give me how did you get into hunting? Who taught you how to hunt? And then give me a couple of your favorite Gunworks stories where, and maybe the gun made the trip. If it did. If not, just tell us some good stories.
So, my father did not hunt. I had 2 uncles that were probably 2 of, if not the 2 best elk callers and hunters in the town that I grew up in. And they mostly bow hunted. So these were a couple of hillbilly rednecks that went to Colorado and did over-the-counter hunts on their own and kind of did some of that. And then in New Mexico, putting in for draws and stuff. And so my 2 uncles, Hoyt was one of the ones that kind of drug me in and started getting me into it, with some buddies that I grew up with that were hunting. But
at what age?
I was 12 years old.
This is New Mexico?
Yeah.
Back then, could you hunt as early as you can now?
So, yes, you had to pass your hunter safety. So, whatever age, I mean, I was 9.
You'd be 6, 8, doesn't matter.
No, Riker was 9. I was 11 or 12 when he talked me into doing the hunter safety. And
that's so cool that you guys can do that. We have to wait till we're 12, yeah. Which at that time, when you're 12 years old in this day, your brain, like kids these days, they've already got sports or iPads or Xboxes already captured their time and energy, and they're like, well, I don't want to go hunting. So I think it would be a good play for Wyoming to drop that age to the same as New Mexico so we can capture those youngsters' focus on hunting and then
So they actually do a youth mentor program in New Mexico where you can, I believe it's 1 or 2 years. Don't quote me on any of this because I'm just throwing some stuff out there, but it's like a youth mentor program where I think it's 1 or 2 years that you can take a few tests or do a few things and get this little certificate and go with somebody.
Like before you pass your hunter safety.
And it gives you a couple of years before you actually take the hunter safety that
so
you
can
be
like,
hunt a few things. It's not everything,
right?
But it gives you that taste. I was 12 whenever I passed mine and killed a deer. And then I killed my first elk with a muzzle loader, and that was the old ball and cap Hawkins muzzle loader with the dang aluminum or lead round ball and a patch when I was 14. And then obviously the bug just, I just got hooked with it bad. And my uncles were, pretty big bow hunters, so I got into shooting bows, going over to my uncle's house and shooting bows. And I was shooting an old Martin compound with a wooden riser. We're talking about aluminum arrows, feathers, and we're talking about the old
Don't
school.
Don't age yourself too much.
Man, the old school stuff, fingers. And started putting in for elk in my own state when I was I was 14 when I did the muzzleloader. And I'm trying to think, it was when I was 15 or 16, I decided to switch to the archery. And I hunted 11 years in a row with a bow because there was more of us, or there was, enough of us putting in for bow. There was more tags than what there was people applying for them. And so I hunted 11 years in a row with a bow.
Wow.
And so that obviously started fueling to the ability to call elk in. When you're talking about somebody starting at 15, 16 years old, you've got the great coaches that have been doing it for years and years, teaching you and being able to be out in the woods. I have people all the time teach me how to call an elk. I said, I can show you everything that I do, but I can't give you the experience of being in the woods, of knowing when to call, when to shut up, what to say, what not to say. You just, it's something within inside me that tells me, okay, I need to shut up, I need to back off, I need to call more, I need to do this, I need to do that.
Experience is what's telling you that.
Exactly. And so that's what fueled it, was a young age with a couple of guys that were extremely good at it. As far as hunting stories, I'll just go to the bear hunt last year in Alaska. I talked to you and told you I had a 375 H&H, and you're like, nope. I'm like, what do you mean no? You said, I'm going to send you a gun. I'm like, well, what do you want out of this? You said, all I want's a photo. I want a photo of you killing a bear with this gun. And so I took that 338 Remington Ultra Mag up there. Glad I did, just because I was not truly expecting to shoot a bear that far. Spring hunt on the peninsula in Alaska was probably the most mind-challenging hunt I've ever been on. Because bears can smell where you walked. So you don't just go walking all over the place and trying to look for one. Our camp was set up where we flew in a Super Cub. Our camp was set up right on a river, and we would literally hike 10 minutes up on top of this knob, and we would spend 15 hours a day up there.
Glassing 360.
Glassing. Oof. My guide's sitting over there watching one direction. I would go on this side of the knob, and I would watch this direction, and then we would switch, because you're like, okay, I got to have something new to look at.
Yeah.
Because you're just panning it, and then you're going back over it and back over it and back over it. Literally the most mentally challenging hunt I've ever done, because, you're talking about a 16-day hunt. It's spring, so you're thinking, oh, it's nice weather. No. The wind is screaming sometimes. It's sleet, it's rain, it's snow, it's everything. Literally, I don't think it ever got over 40 degrees. And this was in May.
Jeez.
And, we spotted a couple of bears that we went after, and you get over there, and I'm not just talking about seeing, because it's not in the fall where they're chasing the salmon up and down the streams. It is the spring where the boars are just traveling looking for females. And so we spotted some 2 different occasions that we went after, never saw them. And there was one time that we
just because it was so thick, or because they're moving,
could have caught our wind and just took off. Some of it's so thick,
couldn't catch up. They're moving too fast.
You're not just hunting them in the bottom. I mean, you're talking about hunting them on the sides of big ass mountains. Where we're glassing them up. It's like, okay, yeah, there's a bear, and I mean, you're talking about 2 miles away up on the side of a mountain, just moving along. Or we caught some in the bottoms, you know. You just don't ever know where you're going to see one, so you can't take your eyes off of anything.
Right.
No naps, no nothing. You're literally, from the time sun comes up to the time the sun goes.
The one time you nap is going to be the one time the bear steps out.
Correct.
That's what you call hunting.
Correct.
Which sucks.
Yes. But the one time we went after a stock, we got up there and we got into position. Of course, the wind hit us right in the back, and when we peeked over, that bear was gone. And when we were coming back down, we noticed a bear in the bottom, which was a smaller bear, but we watched that bear for a while, and it came across the bottom, and it got to where we walked, and it turned around and took off. Literally where we walked.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Oh, their nose is unbelievable.
Black bears are the same, or?
They're
not as
skittish as, I mean, I think the thing that you see, and I don't even cut this out or whatever, but in Wyoming, in the Yellowstones, grizzly bears are not afraid of humans.
Right.
Because they're not hunted.
Right.
In Alaska,
they know
that a human is a predator.
Okay.
And when they smell a human, they run. It's been instilled in their nature of their entire life. Humans are not good for you. In Yellowstone, they're protected, so you have they're not afraid of a human.
Not just Yellowstone.
Well, exactly.
Wyoming.
Correct.
Or every state, basically.
Correct.
Besides Alaska.
That doesn't hunt them. I mean, when I was in the Northwest Territories, you don't hunt bears up there, the grizzlies. And we had one come into our camp that night and steal some sheep meat out of the river, because we had it in a trash bag in the river with the top laid over, twisted up so they couldn't smell it, with a rock on the top. And literally a sow and 2 cubs came over there and got some, and that's when they flew us out immediately, because they're just not afraid of you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a bag that we handled. Not only did we walk there, but we handled that bag. We handled that meat, and they still went in there and ate it because they're not afraid of you.
Yeah.
I think it was Riker's Doll sheep hunt up in the Brooks. We had made a big old huge stalk on some Doll sheep, and we watched a grizzly come across this wide open flat. Same thing. As soon as it got to where we walked, it turned around and was running so fast out across that marsh, you could see the water flying off of his feet.
I didn't know Riker shot a doll.
Yeah.
With a bow?
No, it was with a rifle. I think he was 14.
That's pretty awesome. Back when they were a little cheaper.
Well, actually, it turned out one of those weird deals that a buddy of mine had booked that hunt and
couldn't make it.
And so he gave it to Riker.
That's cool.
So he and I went up and hunted the Brooks, and I don't know that we were the only one in that camp that time frame that killed one, but the weather got crappy and a lot of people left, and we pushed it to the last afternoon, got back to the camp at midnight, 1:00 in the morning. We pushed it to the last day. Wow. I was literally trying to figure out how can we stay longer to get this kid a doll.
Dang it.
You know? So
back to the bear. So you watch this little one walk up, hit your tracks, and skedaddle.
Yeah. So I killed my bear on day 12. And there was a bear that we had seen that disappeared on us, and I was kind of naming them as they would come by. Something would pop up in my brain as I would name, this one Floppy, this one Cartwheel, this one whatever. Well, I called this one bear Two-Tone. We got up that morning and climbed up to our glassing knob, and the fog was set all the way down to where you could just see the bottom, right in this valley. You couldn't see any of the mountains. Mm-hmm. We were just able to see this one stream and a little bit of ground on each side of the creek. And I told my guide, Jesse, I said, that's Two-Tone. And he looks at it, and we had been kind of debating whether to kill Two-Tone because we saw him that one other time and lost him. And of course, day 12, he's like, let's go after him. I said, I agree with you. I think we're to the point where if we see something that's a good bear, we should go after it. So Two-Tone was coming down the drainage, heading towards the ocean. And we had to run back down the hill, get our waders on, because the creek that we had to cross was fairly deep. So we had to throw our waders on. And we cruised across, got over where he was. Well, obviously, when you get there, nothing. So we're looking up and down the creek, and it's like, okay, we've already walked a long ways over here. Let's just sit back and see what happens. Mm-hmm. So me and my guy, Jesse, are just kind of laid back on this hill. And as the morning went, the fog got higher and higher and higher. And we're just glassing, because basically we're able to look down, we're able to look up, and we're able to look at this one mountain. It's not like our little posting point where we were able to sit there and do donuts on top of that knob. And as the fog got higher and higher, I said, there's a bear. And I said, I can just see its back. So all the way up 800-900 yards up on this hill, I could see a bear laying there. And he gets it in his spotting scope and looking at it. And he said, well, I mean, obviously he can't tell nothing about it. We're looking at a bear's, just a glimpse of its back laying up there on a rock. Well, we're trying to make the decision. Do we go after it? Do we sit and wait and watch what it does? We're looking at the mountain. We're looking at a ridge coming off. And we kind of talked things over and said, you know what? If we can get to this point, if all goes well, we may be able to see up to where that bear's at, and when it stands up, be within range. Because we did some ranging with, the rangefinders and kind of throwing some different things out there. So we decided to do it. And so we went across the little valley there and climbed up on this ridge, got set up, and you could still see the hair of the bear. And got the gun set up on the bipods, got the pack laid down. There's what they call salmon bushes, which are these real hard, coursed, hard-stemmed bush. It's called a salmon bush. I broke all them out of the way, got all my shooting lane ready, got the gun set up, even looked at the bear through the gun, put a bullet in it, put it on safety. I'm ready. So we're just sitting there talking and looking, and all of a sudden that bear stands up. Well, I dropped on the gun, and Jesse looks in his scope, because, we had it set up to where the minute that thing stands up, we're going to shoot it. Mm-hmm. If it's,
after you judge it.
Oh my gosh. As soon as I got on the bear, I was just ready to squeeze the trigger. As soon as he told me, and he said, it's a sow. I pulled the safety back on. I sit up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And he goes, two-tone. I dropped back on the gun, took it off safety, and shot. Literally that fast.
So he mistaken.
No, there was, I didn't catch it because I wasn't, I sat up.
Yeah.
He was looking through his spotting scope. I sat up and was like, oh my gosh. Well, that sow stepped off the rock, and that boar was laying behind her, and he walked up. And we're talking 326 yards up the hill, at a steep angle there. Well, as soon as he said two-tone, I just dropped back on the rifle.
Shot whatever you saw.
Put the crosshairs right behind the shoulder and touched the trigger. Well, I jacked another shell in it. Well, he goes, there he goes. Well, you can just see bits and pieces of him running through the alders down this ridge. Mm-hmm. There's no way to get a shot. Literally, he was flying down this ridge and just out of sight. You could see that sow coming in behind him. And he goes, that's the sow following his tracks. So we just sat there a minute and just kind of took it all in as to what just happened. And we talked about it. He said, it looked like a good shot. I said, it felt like a good shot.
Was he recorded?
No.
Through the scope?
No, nothing.
That's probably one of the best tools.
Oh my gosh.
Especially a freaking guide could ever have.
Oh, absolutely.
Mitch and I had a podcast. Mitch is one of our sales guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about what's in your kit and what is your number one tool. And Mitch's number one tool is like a phone scope, an all-in or something like that. And he's not a guide. I think as a guide, especially your video and all your stuff, to be able to say, yep, that was a good shot. Like my guys, and you've seen John X when you went with me this year. Every single one of them are instructed to video every shot. That way, if something goes down, they have proof. It's like, hey, looks like you freaking touched it, touched the top of the back. We can't find it. and we go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It would have been nice to sit back and, I mean, I got a video of after all of that, and I videoed.
Did you hear a big thump?
I don't remember because I had those earmuffs on.
Yeah, because you're shooting a braked rifle.
Correct.
Not suppressed. Yeah.
Correct. And so I had those earmuffs on, which were the ones that you can hear, but I don't remember.
It's got to be quick.
Yeah, I mean...
So you're sitting there like, man, did I hit it? Did I miss it?
I felt good about the shot. He said it looked good, so this is what our conversation was. And I got the phone out and videoed where the bear was, the gun sitting there and talking to him. I mean, where the camp is over there, and we're fixing to go look for this bear I just shot. Well, he had a fellow guide that had been mauled by a brown bear. And so there was a lot of emotion with him talking about his buddy that he had...
walking through the bushes.
Yeah. And so we had talked a lot about some stuff because, I mean, obviously when you get back to the tent, you're making some mountain house to eat for dinner or whatever you're fixing to eat for dinner, you're BSing. And so we started up the hill, and I said, Jesse, hang on a second. I said, let's talk about this. I said, if that bear's still alive and it comes after you and you can't get it killed with your gun, I said, drop in the fetal position, cover the back of your neck with your hands, and don't move so I can kill the bear.
He's worried. You're not.
I am in the same aspect that he is, that I need he and I to understand what our game plan is going to be if this bear's still alive. And that way there's no miscommunication of, well, you shoulda, coulda, woulda, right?
Right.
Let's come up with a game plan before shit breaks loose. And so we talked about it and we agreed, this is what we're going to do. If you can't get a bullet in that bear and it gets close enough to you and you still can't get him killed, drop in the fetal position, cover your back of your, because that's where they're going to go after you, is the back of your neck. And cover, just like that with your hands, so that way you can save some of those teeth going into your spine.
Interlock your hands,
Correct.
throw it on the back of your neck.
Correct. And so we both agreed. We got up to where we thought the last sighting of the bear was, and took a few more steps, and I happened to look down the ridge, and there he was, folded up, facing downhill. Threw a few things down there, no movement whatsoever, and obviously we had killed a bear. Well, it turns out it wasn't two-tone. It was a bear that we saw on day 2 that we went over to go find that
couldn't get a shot.
Never saw it again. It was 2 miles away, and when we went the next morning to go over there and look for it, we never saw it again. And it's the bear that I named Nut Dragger.
Big nuts or something?
No, he walked funny. When he was walking over there that afternoon when we were watching him on the side of that mountain, I'm like, something's wrong with him. And he said, no, nothing's wrong with him. He said, those salmon bushes are so coarse. He said he's picking his leg up to keep from dragging his nuts on those salmon bushes. So that's when I named him Nut Dragger. Yeah. Come to find out, it was a 10-foot bear. It was a Boone and Crockett bear. The skull measured over Boone and Crockett for, I think it's 28 and 15/16 or something. I think 28's Boone and Crockett. So just a giant bear, squared at 10 feet.
Yeah.
So got extremely fortunate that the bear I thought I was shooting, which we guessed somewhere around 9.5 foot bear, that had 2 different types of hair because of the coming out of the den, they're a little bit more rubbed. So very fortunate that I killed a giant. And coming back to what we were talking about, you sent the gun with me up there, and I feel like I could have made that type of shot with that 375, but I just had more confidence.
Right.
And to me, it doesn't matter where I go on which hunt. If I don't have confidence in my rifle, it doesn't ever turn out good. And so I don't ever go on a hunt where I don't shoot and build that confidence that I can do this, whether it's a bow, a muzzleloader, or a rifle.
Right.
It's in my head. I'm not the guy to pull it out of my closet and go spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on a hunt and pull my gun out of the closet and blow the dust off of it and show up.
Right.
I'm just the kind of person that it's in my in my brain that I have to have 100% confidence that if something goes wrong, it's not the gun's fault, it's mine. Because there's times that shit goes wrong.
For sure.
I made a shot on a Marco Polo in Tajikistan that I probably should have never taken. Looking back, I think, what were you thinking?
Let's hear about that.
Well, when you get to Tajikistan, you're talking about hunting at 14,000, 15,000 feet. And when your gun's sighted in at 6,500, 7,000 feet, you got to go check it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're relying on the Revic rangefinders to compensate once you zero it for your turret elevation.
Mm-hmm. Once you zero it for that elevation you're at,
correct,
which your turret was made for 6,000 feet,
correct,
you're hunting at 14,000,
correct,
and way lower temperature,
correct.
So you got to zero it there, and then you just trust the Revic system to do the math between the 14 and the 6 and let it rip.
And that's a little bit of a torque in the mind, because it's like...
You don't get to test the gun over there. Like,
no.
They have a rock or something. You're shooting at 100 yards, and you're not like, all right, let's pick out that rock at 800. Let's test it at that far. You're just like, you shot it at 100 yards, and then they say, okay, we're good, let's go.
Yeah. So... And when you're hunting, you don't want to have to sit there and do everything yourself. So I handed him my rangefinder. And so the very first one that I shot at, I shot over it. And I said, did you give me the first reading or the second?
Shoot.
He said,
this is your hunting buddy that you take with?
No, this was one of the guides over there.
It's hard to teach him that system.
Well, exactly. And so I didn't go over everything in detail. So
right.
that kind of got me. On the first shot, I shot over one. Well, then we went around and spotted some more.
Now you have the guide understands.
Yes, I need the second number.
Ready to go. We got the kinks worked out.
Correct. And so we had this ram. It was a group of them. I don't know. There was probably at least 15 rams in this group. And we were all talking about which one. They spoke very good English. One of them.
Right.
He spoke very good English. And so we talked about the ram I was going to shoot. And I've even got a video of it because they had a guy filming the hunt. And he said, the second one. And I said, okay. Well, he said, okay, he's got the one in front. And I said, yeah, I'm on him. I'm wanting to say it was like 496 yards, 486 yards. So it wasn't some stupid long distance, but it's still a long poke. When the fact that you're talking about, I made the comment, you want me to shoot him in the ass? And I don't even know what I was thinking, because I guess I had enough confidence in that rifle.
So the shot wasn't a long shot. It was more about he was covered up with other rams.
So he said he's okay. And then you'll hear him in the video. Okay, now he's alone. And I said, because he's facing away. And I said, you want me to shoot him in the ass? And he said, if you want, but only if you're comfortable.
If you want.
Yeah, if you want, but only if you're comfortable. And I don't know why I did it. But when you watch
because you felt money. You felt solid.
When you're looking at the sheep and he's quartered, he wasn't going exactly perfectly away. He was turned just slightly to the right and to the left, because you watched me shoot and I put it in his left hindquarter. Because I'm thinking, how do I got to get to the heart?
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how I shoot an animal, all I'm thinking about is how do I get to the heart? No matter which way the animal's facing, how do I get there? And you slow the video down, and it couldn't have been a more perfect shot. I hit him, he spun around, and he's like, shoot him again. Well, I didn't have to. He was done. But then when I look back on that video, I'm thinking, you were so stupid.
Could have shot a smaller sheep or something.
I could have wounded him.
Or wounded, yeah.
And now I'm spending the next 10 days looking for a wounded ram. And all I did was graze his hindquarter.
That's a pretty baller shot.
Yeah. And after that, I thought that was dumb. It worked for me, but I thought that was dumb. Yeah. So, confidence. I just feel like it's a huge factor in what we do. I'm not saying that there's not other guns out there that shoot decent. shoot good. Some of them shoot very well. But when you can buy a system that is shipped to you, and you can buy the bullets that works for that gun, and you can buy everything.
Rangefinders.
Everything. I mean, the tripods, the bipods, everything that you guys have put together a shooting system.
Yeah.
You're not buying a gun.
Shooting system should be trademarked by us.
Correct, because you're not buying a gun and a scope and taking it to a guy to load you bullets and build a turret and build this and do that. You're buying a system that's proven, and that's what we like so much about it. And right. I mean, most of my guides now all have Gunworks. We're trying to get it to where we're 100%, because we would prefer our clients shoot our guns.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
It's a game changer for us.
Well, that comment leads into, we could go two directions on that. We could go on, which you touched on briefly, how has Gunworks being a part of your camp and your business improved your business and your camp, basically, or made your life easier? Or we can go down the route of systems. We can go like, you have, I'm not going to age you, but you have a lot of years of experience in dialing in your system, the backpack you like, the binos, the tripods. We go down either route. You pick one. Going over the system. We were just talking about lunch. You're like, man, I just switched my binos over. So you're still kind of dialing it in, but you have a pretty good idea of what you want.
Well, the problem with the industry, and you guys know, is you keep making shit better, and it makes it just makes you want that next thing.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's all about. So about the time you think you've got everything dialed in, somebody comes out with something new and better, and I mean, JJ is one of my gadget gurus.
Yeah.
And if it's out there, he's looked at it, he's read about it, or he's bought it.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of the one that came up with the slogan that we use, buy once, cry once.
Yep.
It's going to hurt at first, but you're going to be glad you did in the end.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about spending, let's just throw some numbers, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I mean, it depends on where you're going. You could be going over to Tajikistan and hunting a Mokar and spending $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
You damn sure better have a gun that shoots extremely well, that you got confidence in.
Not just a gun, but a system.
Correct.
Guns, you can buy a gun from anywhere that shoots good. It's the system.
So you better have it. You better have that arsenal in your pocket. And so when you're talking about gear, I mean, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff dialed in, but then about the time I think I've got it dialed in, Riker will show up with something new, and I'm like, what's that?
Let's go over that story. What do we have in camp right now that everyone's kind of jizzing over?
Over which part?
The ghetto gun, or the gangster gun.
The gangster gun? I mean, that gun that showed up, I mean, everybody we've showed it to is just like, oh my gosh.
So I actually, for the listeners, I don't approve that word. I mean, it does fit it, but that's what Joseph, he calls me yesterday on his drive up here. He had an 18-hour drive. He's like, hey, so do you think I should get one of those ghetto guns? And I'm like, I mean, that could be a million things, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about the index I just dropped off with Riker. I just dropped off a 13-inch 300 PRC index that you guys are running in camp right now. It's the one that I've been running around all season, and I shot a few things, elk and antelope and whatnot. But yeah, like what you're saying, you might have your system dialed in. You just got this new 7 PRC this year for this season, 7 PRC MTX with a radical scope, and everyone's in love with it from what I can tell. And then I just dropped this index off, and you're like,
well, and I'm going to tell you, the gun that you got me, the 7 PRC, is a tack driver. I mean, it's unbelievable. When you shoot it at paper, I mean, I can literally at 100 yards tell Riker I'm going to shoot the tip of the diamond, because there's already some holes somewhere else. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to shoot the tip of the diamond. And he's like, yep, sure did. Stacking bullets at 100 yards, clover leafed. And, I've shot it out to 1,400 at a gong. We're not going to shoot it at an elk that far, but it's pretty cool to have that confidence that, holy moly.
If that 400-inch bull step's out that far, you're going to freaking shoot it.
So, and then you show up with this thing, and
What's so intriguing about it that you like?
I don't know exactly. I thought it was gangster is what they called it. And because Daniel, I think it was him that made the comment, we just need a holster for that sucker so we can just holster it. It's so short. You know, the barrel, the stock folded over, it's short.
Mm-hmm.
And so we took it out and was shooting it. Several of us shot it. I don't know, we had the thing 2 or 3 weeks. And the feel of it is just got a different feel. It's in the 300 PRC. The recoil's not bad. I measured it weight-wise because it's such a compact little gun. It feels heavy as crap. It's a pound more than my other one.
Which isn't much.
No. And my other one's pretty light. It kicks pretty good. But it shoots well. Riker and these guys are still fine-tuning their videography because now he's got it to where he can set it on, I think it's 60 megapixel or something. It's something in the video that we change. And the last couple of elk that they've shot with it, they videoed and it looks like you're throwing a baseball at them.
It's been there for 2 weeks, maybe a week. 2 weeks. How many elk has it killed already?
I think it's killed 4.
Yeah. Riker sent me those 2 videos that he took, and yeah, you can see vapor trail. You can see the back of that bullet, and it just. Whew.
Yeah, it literally looks like you're throwing a baseball at them. Now I realized the sun was coming up and everything.
It was perfect.
Everything was
a
perfect,
good video.
But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The video, literally seeing the bullet. I think that was like 650 yards on a couple of guys that don't shoot that far. I mean, it's just different, man. I don't know how to explain it.
It'd be killing some more elk this weekend, but someone forgot to clip the magazine all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow the magazine got lost, but I'm taking another one back down there.
Taking a lot of goodies back, huh?
Yeah. It is. It's just a game changer. I mean, we need to be able to shoot 500-600 yards. And we need our clients to be able to do it. And I don't know. I mean, I can keep preaching about it until you get one and you go out and use it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got clients that I've sent you that have bought guns and now they're buying another one and another one because now they want this caliber, they want that caliber.
Yep.
I mean, it's just a game changer for everybody. The only thing that worries me is people not shooting it at all.
Yeah, you can have the full system and it helps a lot, but if you're not doing the training and the learning, then you're not going to be reaching your full capacity.
Yeah.
Which is what the LRU Long Range University is for.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which kind of forces you to come shoot because otherwise 90% of people are too busy to take time out of their schedule and go to the range, find a range first of all.
Correct.
And go shoot.
Yeah.
The time they get to practice is the day before they come hunt for you.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. The world is so overwhelmingly busy that taking time to be able to go play is not, I shouldn't even say play, just go shoot your gun to get ready to go on a hunt.
Yeah.
It's just not done as much as it probably should. We shoot some. I'm not going to say we shoot a lot, but we shoot quite a bit. And
if you're going to show up at camp, though, without practicing, you might as well show up with a Gunworks and not some piece of shit.
But make sure you shoot it before you show up. I had a client that pulled it out of the box and he never even touched it.
I hear that story all the time. I was just hunting with another really good outfitter, and one of the guides does some side guiding up north, sheep hunting. And he's like, yeah, I've had like 4 or 5 people show up, never shot their gun before.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I'm not going to knock on the guys. If they're so busy they can't practice and they have the balls and the money to show up on a $110,000 stone sheep hunt, not shooting their gun.
Yeah, because you've still, with these new scopes, and I mean, I'm using my kid's knowledge. I mean, Riker, I have to tell him, hey, come over here and do this.
You've got the radical on there, so it's a little of it's kind of a feat learning all the features,
correct,
and functions,
and I'll be honest with you. He's like, okay, click on this, move this over, do this, and I can't see those little things up in there. I can see them, and I can kind of make them out, but I can't make them out because I got to put my cheaters on in order to see it. I can see yardage, I can see level, I can see they're there, but it's almost like I'm like, here, you just look at it and do whatever needs to happen. So it's going to come back to haunt me because...
Well, the nice thing about that scope is it functions just like the other one.
Correct.
With it turned off.
Correct. So. And that's what'll happen. One of these days I'm going to have to just run it undone because I won't have somebody there to
zero it for you.
Yeah, because that's basically what you're trying to do is re-zero it to 100 after you go somewhere because of the elevation difference.
Right.
But other than that, I don't know, man. I think we preach your stuff pretty well, and I think it shows because we've got a lot of clients showing up with Gunworks now.
Yeah.
It's just a no-brainer. If you can afford it, it's a no-brainer. If you can't afford it, I get it. Find somebody that's bought several of them and buy a used one.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's people out there. Look on the internet because all the stuff that's coming out new, people are going to buy a new one. Now, whether they'll sell their old one or not, I can't tell you. But
rarely, but sometimes.
There's going to be some out there, and buy one. If you can't afford it, or just start saving your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had a client that was sending me $1,000 a month to come on an elk hunt. He said, this is the only way I can do it. I said, if that works for you, send it. You know, because
that's pretty awesome.
I'm here to help people, and especially ones that this is a dream hunt for them. You know, it's a one-time deal.
Right.
And so I'm willing to work with people and help them for that because it's pretty cool to watch people come and hunt and get an elk for their bucket dream hunt. You know what I mean? We actually guided a couple of guys this year, and one of them had never even hunted before ever.
That's pretty awesome.
Ever.
To introduce someone to that.
And I didn't remember it, but when we talked about it, I probably told him, don't worry about it. I got a gun you can use, because he told me he didn't have a gun. And he shows up to camp and he's like, hey, Joseph, I need to borrow that gun. Oh, yeah. You know, because I talk to a lot of people.
Right.
And I don't sit there and make notes. Okay, so-and-so I'm loaning a gun to. So-and-so I'm doing this. So-and-so I'm doing that. I'm trying to make my brain stay sharp, and it's not as sharp as it was. But he shows up. He doesn't have a gun. And then he comes over and he says, hey, do you have any camo? Do I really need camo? I'm like, yes, I got camo. So I loaned him camo. He says, look, I need to kill an elk tomorrow. I don't care what it is. I'm like,
he's got to get back home and work.
He said, you know, it's extremely hard for me to be gone. He said, I want the meat. I'm like, well, we'll do what we can. And so I loaned him a gun. He'd never killed an animal before in his life. He shot a nice bull with one of our guns, one of our 7 PRC Gunworks. I think he shot it at 530 yards.
Did you get it done the day after?
Then the second day, he killed a bull.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep. And he's a brain surgeon. It's just expensive for him to be gone. I mean, I'm sure that what it cost him to be there, it didn't matter, because whatever he makes an hour or a day probably doesn't equate to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so at the end of the hunt, he's like, hey, I'm going to wash this camo and give it back to you. I said, no, you can keep it. He said, really? I said, yeah, I want you to owe me a favor. I might need brain surgery someday.
That's funny.
But it was cool. I mean, to watch the excitement when he came back, and between him and his guide, listening to him tell the story and listen to his guide tell the story, literally in the same garage, you know, watching those two no, this is what I said. Oh, no, this is, you know, and just watching how the excitement for him, and, oh, I'll be back next year and I'm bringing 5 or 6 people, you know, because he had never done it before, and his buddy was a hunter, or, you know, started hunting several years ago, and he's like, hey, I want to go do that thing you do, and it just all evolved from that. You know?
That's pretty awesome.
And so, yes, it's pretty neat to watch that.
And that is why you want to associate yourself with a killer, because you're not going to spend 10 days hunting for elk. When it comes down to it, maybe a little luck involved,
Yeah, we run a high success, and I equate Gunworks to a lot of the killing aspect of it, of getting the job done at longer range. We used to not. Well, I guess our confidence levels built up to that next level.
I've seen some lead being thrown a long ways.
Yeah,
and connecting. I haven't heard of any terrible.
There's been
mishaps.
a few shit shows 1,000+ yards, but you're talking about somebody who's never flung one that far, and we're like, yeah, you can do it.
Riker, Jesus, probably, or JJ.
Yeah, well, JJ was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Riker's got a video of a guy killing an elk with his gun at 940 yards that doesn't shoot. He's bow hunts.
Yeah.
You know? And so, yeah, it's pretty neat to watch. And so, yes, gun work has changed the way we hunt. It's changed our confidence level and what we can accomplish. And so our success is big on it, because I can tell you, if they showed up with your grandpa's 30-06 with a 3x9 Simmons and 2 different boxes of bullets with 2 different grains, you know, I mean, it happens. You think I'm kidding you, but I literally wiped the dust out of a guy's scope the other day, and I thought, you're not shooting this.
First of all, it's not suppressed.
You are not shooting this gun. End of conversation, because I don't know what we're going to hit at 100 yards with it. So.
Yeah. So you've been I remember a couple stories. We'll kind of turn back to your hunting stories. There's 2 that come to mind that we can kind of, you have people coming into your camp using your guns, high success rate. And we did the same thing earlier this year. You joined me on a reserve hunt, Gunworks reserve hunt to South Africa with John X. They have 10 guns in camp. You and I flew over. I took a gun because I took an index for asset collection. We're going to post that video of that hunt here January 15th, I think. So if you guys want to watch that, go over to Gunworks/blog. You'll find it there, January 15th. But you went over there, no guns, right?
Correct.
You're shooting the camp guns. And it's nice to show up to camp. Dude, I did, you didn't have any hassle flying with a fucking 35-pound, 40-pound freaking luggage, 50-pound actually. We were probably tapping out the luggage. Through all the customs, all the freaking
it's so nice.
jails. You watched me do it, and the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
You showed up with your backpack and your 1 suitcase.
Yep. And went and hunted.
We shot it there when we showed up. And that takes your confidence.
Well, but
all
after
the way up,
owning
right?
Gunworks and shooting Gunworks, when you show up to a camp,
just need a little refresher.
When you show up to camp and you're shooting Gunworks,
yeah. I
mean, I shot an eland at 500 and something yards. Shot a baboon at 470 yards. I mean, I don't remember one of the longest shots. Could have been my black wildebeest at, I don't know if it was 675 or 700, and we just missed the wind, and I hit it back just by the wind call. But you know, the confidence, it boils back down to, I have the confidence in those rifles that it's going to pull the job off, and I'm the one writing the check if I miss or wound. Right? I shouldn't say miss, if I wound, because like you said, it's being videoed, and if I clip a quarter and we don't get that animal, I'm paying for it.
Right.
But when you've got confidence in a rifle and you know that it's going to do it, it's going to do it if you don't screw it up.
I'm sitting here and I remember, so among hunting New Mexico, you also do some axis hunts in Texas.
Yes.
Those are specialized hunts for a couple of your closer customers, I believe. And then you also do sheep hunts in Mexico.
Yes.
So I remember it must have been your first time going down there to Mexico. I remember getting a phone call from, I don't know where I was, but it was like, hey, so we didn't take any guns to Mexico. If anyone hasn't been to Mexico, it's a freaking pain in the butt to get guns in there. And it's not the greatest feeling to have a gun in your possession while you're in Mexico either. But anyways, you're like, so we didn't come to Mexico with any guns, and we're shooting the camp guns. What would make a gun shoot like a 5-foot group at 100 yards? And I'm just like, you're effed, bro. So let's just hear that story because it is kind of a funny story.
Well, we couldn't hit one of them. We couldn't hit the same place twice. Literally.
You're hunting at El Campo at this time.
Correct. Yeah. Well, we were hunting at the Sierra Alamo. We were down in Hermosillo at the gun range trying to figure out which gun we were going to shoot because they had 2 or 3 guns, and here's your ammo and here's your guns.
Old POS.
Yeah, and so they got such an issue of trying to get a gun in that country.
You can't get any new guns.
They can't get one in their name in that country,
Yeah. No ammo.
So yes, there's issues. I take my guns down there now. The issue is COVID. They didn't get my gun permit approved, so I had to go down there and use one of theirs.
So this is 2019 then, or whenever. 20.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I picked out the one I shot the best, and I finally got a sheep killed. But the better gun that shot the best was the older looking one.
Yeah. And best as in like it still shot a foot or something.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but that one shot the best out of the 2 or 3 that I tried. And I wound up wounding the sheep and having to put several more at it and missing it. And I finally got the job done, but it cost me some money on a coos deer. I can tell you that much.
Wounded one or?
Yeah. Yep, because I'm the old Kentucky windage like we used to do when I was a kid. Hold a foot over it.
Yeah, shoot.
Hold 18 inches over it.
And that's not a big target either.
No, and I wound up shooting right underneath that coos deer, and I hit the offside shoulder. And never did find that deer. They had him on camera. It was like a week later, and just a big old huge abscess, and then never saw him again.
Dang it.
But I had to pay for it. I paid for half a gun.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you're going to these places in Africa, Mexico, even you come hunt with us, if you draw blood on our ranches and we don't find that animal, that's your animal. Mm-hmm. Some of these places you draw blood, you pay for that animal, which obviously with us, you've already paid for the hunt. And so you don't want to come in and unconfident in your weapon or show up with something that doesn't have a good group. But yeah, it was a fiasco, and it cost me quite a bit of money because I still don't have that coos deer, and it was a big coos deer.
Dang it.
When you look at the trail cam pic, that was like 120 something inch coos deer.
Ooh, geez, that hurts.
Yeah,
that'll haunt you.
Yeah, I still shake my head, but I didn't have a choice. It was during the time we couldn't get a gun in the country.
Right.
So, yeah, it doesn't hurt to spend the money one time, especially if you're going and doing a lot of hunts. Get that gun that you have the confidence with, and it'll pay dividends in the end, I can tell you.
Mm-hmm. What is it? Buy once, cry once.
Buy once, cry once. That's JJ's motto.
Well, appreciate you making the time to come up from Moreland.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad to come up here and actually do a complete walkthrough. I would tell you I was mind blown.
It's good to see the whole manufacturing process, huh?
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, because, it's like anything else. You look at a stock and you think, well, it's a stock. Well,
what's the most impressive thing you saw? Coming into it, you've been shooting Gunworks guns for, let's say, 14 years, technically, even if it's a upfitted Remington. What was like, oh shit, you guys actually make that?
The barrels.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, because I don't know anybody that makes barrels.
Yeah. That's my dad's baby.
Seriously. Because even my father-in-law, he's like, well, I wonder what kind of barrels they use on their guns, because they don't make their own barrels. Well, I can't wait to tell him, oh, yeah, they do. And just to watch that machine carbon wrap it, that was just cool as shit.
Yeah.
To watch these machines that work all night long, cutting parts out. It's just a whole process that's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. You guys have done an extremely cool ass. Your father, obviously extremely smart in order to build this craziness that he's built, because that's what I'd call it, is craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, my outfitting business was built by me, but it ain't nothing like this.
Yeah.
This is a whole nother level of...
Both very successful.
Yeah, but man, you talk about some serious brains behind putting this together, and that knowing of, man, I need this, I need to build this, I need this machine to do that, I need this. It's crazy. But it's neat. It's neat to see. And cool, because you're putting a lot of people to work right here at home. I mean, I'm sure you guys are one of the biggest employed companies right here in Cody.
Second.
Yeah.
Whitetex is the other one.
Yeah. Cool.
So I know you're booked out for the next couple of years, but if people want to go follow you, you have an Instagram page, Graham's Guide Service.
Graham's Guide Service, yep.
No website. Just
there's
go.
There's a web. We have a website, grahamsguideservice.com.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, if you guys want to go watch Joseph and Riker and the crew shoot elk at a long ways with the Gunworks, go follow them on Instagram, and you'll see me on there every once in a while. But
yep.
Appreciate the time, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, same to you. Appreciate you giving me a tour.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to seeing you back down in New Mexico.
2026.
Or Africa, or wherever we go next.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you.
Cool.
If you like what you're hearing here, please take a second and give us a 5-star rating and a positive review on iTunes or on your favorite podcast app. We appreciate your feedback and suggestions for topics you'd like discussed or questions you want answered on the podcast. You can reach out on Facebook or Instagram or send us an email to podcast@gunworks.com. Also, be sure and check out our full offering of long-range gear at gunworks.com. Use promo code LRP for free shipping on any order.